Sitting here in my coat in the studio, and a cold day here in Colorado, and hasn't ceased. I guess I just haven't thawed out yet. I was thinking today about some things regarding how you present to a different group of people, um, and watched a number of videos where I was looking for some insights on different storytelling and things that would be beneficial to share with some of the people I have responsibility for who sell. And I wanted to be able to give them a little bit of our idea on their presentations. One of the things that I learned today was that in your stories, that humor is always a great thing. And of course, I knew this from some past experiences, but I thought it was interesting as this individual was explaining the importance of humor in storytelling. Now, obviously, not all stories need to have humor, but it does make it great. I remember years ago when we had a performing group, had show choirs, and we were trying to figure out the formula to win the national championships when we would go and compete. We'd always do well, but we were very seldom were we ever one of the top three groups. But so I was trying to figure it out, and I was talking to one of the top coaches, top choreographers in the country, and asking him about how you write a show and just all the different nuances of the show, the length, type of music, and so forth. And I remember him saying to me, he said, "Tim," and my group's name was Light. He says, "Light is always entertaining." He said, "You just have to decide if you want to be entertaining or if you want to win." I thought, why would you not be entertaining if you won? But there is a formula to winning. And we learned the formula. And for all of you show choir directors out there, I'm so sorry. It just wasn't as much fun because we loved to use humor in our shows. And I'll explain why, and this relates to speaking as well. The reason we used to love to use humor is because you had judges, and I believe there was 5 or 6 judges in every competition, and they're watching everything. They're watching your movements, they're listening to your vocals, they're looking at the kind of the storyboard of the show, how it fits together, your transitions, all those different things they're looking at, costuming, everything. And so show choir, it's a real challenge to do really well. And our group, we were not part of a high school, so we didn't have the opportunity to rehearse every day. We would rehearse 3 times a week. And we had kids from multiple high schools with our group. And so we had to figure out, how do we compete at the highest level when we have a couple of barriers? And one of the things that I thought would help us was, if we can get those judges laughing, they're not going to have the opportunity to write as much. And if they're not writing and they're not checking off on everything, if they're laughing, I was running with the assumption that when they went back to fill it in, we would get the benefit. So this was my thought process. Well, we did do well. We kind of listened to the way the show was supposed to be, but we always added in some humor to kind of carry us through some things. And I want to compare that and relate that to speaking. When you're telling a story, first of all, you need to make sure that if you're going to use humor, that it's not blue, it's nothing that's going to offend people, but that it is that it's great humor. It's humor that even the person who doesn't have much of a sense of humor, you might get a little bit of a out of them. But for those people who enjoy humor, they will truly love it. And that's a great way to break a barrier with your audience, is to share something that is funny. A lot of people say you begin your presentation with humor. I don't know that that's always necessary. It's a great way to go, but I don't know it's always necessary. But I believe that somewhere in your message, there needs to be something that relieves tension and brings the audience closer to you. And that is one thing that humor always does. It always connects the speaker or the performer with the audience. So that's very important. I just thought I'd share that with you this evening as I'm kind of a little cold here in my studio, and just thinking about that today and how I'm going to explain that to some of the people I work with, and without giving them jokes, because you don't want those jokes or those stories to be canned, but you do want them to use some humor, some a way of communicating that is enjoyable for your customer or for your audience. So tomorrow I'll be thinking about something else I think I might share with you. Anyhow, have fun speaking, have fun singing, anything where you get to use your voice to its fullest.